Well, we used to rotate until one of them said no, and then now we don't see each other. Oh.
Oh. Am I the asshole for refusing to do Thanksgiving this year? I'm 40F and have 6 sisters. My 2 older sisters are 44 and 47, and my 4 younger sisters are 38, 36, 34, and 32. Jeez.
Oh, wow.
We've always been a close-knit family, and for the past decade, I've taken on the responsibility of hosting Thanksgiving at my house. I enjoy having everyone over, but it's a lot of work, especially since we all have at least 2 kids each, all in the group 5 to 15 years old.
Okay.
It's chaos, but joyful chaos. My husband helps out, but the majority of the planning, cooking, and organizing falls on me. This year, I decided I need a break. Life has been hectic, and I'm feeling burnt out. Between work, taking care of my kids, 10 and 11 male, and other responsibilities, I'm just not up for the task of hosting a big family gathering. So I suggested that one of my sisters take over hosting Thanksgiving this year. I brought this up to our family group chat, thinking it would be a reasonable request, and it's plenty ahead of time. However, my 2 older sisters, Sarah, 47, and Emily, 44, were not happy with the idea. Sarah has a busy job and a smaller house, so she feels she can't accommodate everyone comfortably. Emily argued that she's been dealing with a lot of stress lately and doesn't have the energy to host. They both suggested that since I've been doing it for so long, I should just keep the tradition going, especially since my house is the most spacious and I'm the one who knows how to do it right. My younger sisters were more understanding, but they also hesitated to take on the responsibility. My sister Jessica, 38, said she would be willing to help out more with the preparations if I hosted, but she wasn't confident about hosting the entire event herself. The other younger sisters offered similar compromises, but no one was willing to take on the full load. After some back and forth, I stood firm and said I really need someone else to host this year. I suggested we could even make it a potluck to ease the burden, but Sarah and Emily were still upset. They accused me of being selfish and abandoning a family tradition that I've upheld for years. They argued that I'm the one with the most experience and that Thanksgiving just wouldn't be the same if I didn't host. Now there's tension in the family, with my older sisters feeling like I'm letting them down. I feel like I've done my fair share over the years, and it's not unreasonable to ask for a break. But at the same time, I understand that my older sisters are also under a lot of pressure, and that hosting Thanksgiving is a big deal for our family. So, am I the asshole for refusing to host Thanksgiving this year after doing it for the past decade? Edit to add, the second oldest, Emily, handles Christmas. So I feel like it's totally fair that she would not want to do both. She does not cook, though. She hires a catering company, but it's still a lot to take on regardless.
Okay.
I think that's like a very clear not the asshole.
You're not the asshole, though, but like at all.
I think
your
like
sisters need to step it up.
They need to step it up. I understand the one that's hosting Christmas. I think that's totally fair that she would not want to do both.
Absolutely.
The calling her selfish is it's a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's probably purely a coincidence that it fell on her for the past 10 years. She just happened, like, did we make this decision as a family that exactly. Like, it's like kind of a very fair thing amongst a lot of families. I think that you rotate who does what and when. And this is posted in August. And if you assume American Thanksgiving, that's in November.
Yeah, she gave them more than enough time.
Yeah.
One time you can't take on responsibility, like, not Emily, because she's the Christmas girl.
Yeah, one of them is Christmas girl. Yeah, Emily handles Christmas.
But, like, the other ones, what's it called? Weaponized incompetence? Like...
Oh, yeah, but you know how to do it right.
It's a little bit that. It's a little bit like, oh, I don't know how to cook a turkey. Like, what are you talking? So you're never going to do Thanksgiving? Yeah, but exactly.
But it also reminds me of, like, growing up, and my mom would be like, oh, can you do the sweeping in the kitchen? You're just the one that does it best. Do you know how long it took me to realize, like, that, like, it's not because I'm the one that does it best. It's just, like, such
you're supposed to feel so good about it, and it tricked you.
Oh, but it's so good when it's at your house.
Yeah, it's so good when it's at your house.
Or then, like, maybe everyone give me the money then, and we'll hire a catering company this time too.
The caterer, or literally, like, I think because her house is bigger, unfortunately, you're kind of stuck with being the like
The bigger house is
the
definitely
host.
working.
But you have 7 sisters because your dad and mother were bunnies apparently and wouldn't stop having sex.
Yeah.
But like you have so many options. Like you have such a huge support system. They should come to your house and clean and cook and do it all. Like lend your house to them and just be like, but you come here and help me. I think.
I feel like it would be very typical of the youngest sisters to be like, oh, I have 19 older sisters who have always kind of like led the charge and taken care of everything. So they feel a bit more like, I guess they're probably a bit more coddled.
Right.
But in the end, you're in your 30s. The younger one is, the youngest one is 32 years old.
Absolutely. And they all have children at this point.
They all have children. So it's like, if you're able to manage raising a child, you could host a dinner.
You can host a Thanksgiving dinner.
One time.
One time.
Literal one time.
And now it's like, oh no, it's your fault. So it's going to be her job to do Thanksgiving for the rest of her life until she dies. Yeah. What about the 6 other sisters? What are their jobs? We have Christmas covered by one, and then there's Thanksgiving. What about the other? So you guys don't do anything else? Like, no, that's crazy.
Tell me who's doing Easter.
Who's doing Easter? Someone's going to start doing Easter. Somebody's better start doing it, even if you don't believe.
So
no, you're not the asshole. What
comments seem to be more or less unanimous.
Yeah.
Like, not the asshole, obviously. Fascinating how these alleged family traditions are so important to those who refuse to share in the considerable burden.
God, yes, that too.
Time, expense, and effort.
Yes.
Hope you can go to a nice restaurant, doubtlessly with an appropriate feast available, and have a nice, relaxing day. But it really is just the time, it's the expense, and the effort. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not just a one-day thing. No. The planning, the spend.
Yeah.
The cleaning your house like alone is just like,
if they're not vegetarian, cooking a turkey takes 6 hours, like 7 hours. You know, like it's crazy.
Not to mention the defrosting it for a fucking week beforehand.
The weeks and weeks before, because the butterball doesn't defrost. Like it's just so time consuming, especially Thanksgiving. All the side dishes. She tried potluck. They said no, and this thing of like.
You can't even make like cranberries.
It's so important to them, yet they're not going to host. Stuffing. It's not that important.
You can get pre-made stuffing and just pop it in the oven.
You can do anything, and they don't want to budge. But then that sister's going to go on burnout one day and never do it again.
Yeah.
And then she's going to be the bitch for the family.
Yeah. But it's also so typical of like, oh, you're being selfish for not wanting to do it. Shouldn't it be a very clear message that none of you want to do it? Why don't you want to do it? That's so interesting. Why are we
pretending like none of you guys are doing it? Like, why?
But everyone is so against taking it on. Maybe there's a reason, and because it's a shitload of work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's giving the Friends episode of Monica being like, I'm not hosting Thanksgiving again. It's way too much work and whatever.
Absolutely. And
then they convince her to do it. She does. And then nobody shows up.
Absolutely.
That's what it's giving.
Absolutely. I say don't do it.
I don't think anyone here is saying that she is the asshole, but let's just, for shits and giggles, go to controversial.
Oh, God. Not that controversial.
Not that controversial.
Because she's right.
Yeah, there's nothing in here that really stands out.
Girl, order to KFC. Don't talk to your family for Thanksgiving. See Emily on Christmas. Like, if no one else is going to pull, like, their own effort, it's not good. Like...
Yeah.
What? What's the point of having a huge family then?
Literally.
We rotate. So, well, we used to rotate until one of them said no, and then now we don't see each other. Oh.
It's all feeling a little too familiar.
But it's true because it is that thing where you think you rotate and then you're not rotating. And then the one person that does it all the time says no one time and then suddenly they're the asshole of the family.
I think we did rotate growing up, though. I think it was my aunt's house, my grandmother's house, my parents' house.
That's nice. Yeah. That's in theory what we were doing, but we weren't.
Yeah. Verdict? Not the asshole.
No. Go to KFC. By yourself with your family. That's it.